Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gridiron 2025. Ron Poniewasz, sports editor here at the Newcastle News, is joined by Mr. Larry Kelly, member of the Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George law firm, which also sponsors our shows. Larry is an assistant baseball coach for Penn State Shenango, an assistant basketball coach, boys, for Newcastle under Ralph Blundo. He's the former varsity baseball coach at Shenango High School. Also, we can't forget about Holy Redeemer as well, a coach for Holy Redeemer.
Absolutely. The fifth and sixth grade girls basketball, section champion basketball team, diocesan runner-ups. I'm good at that runner-up gig. I'm not so good in championship games, I guess, but I did win one, brother. I know that.
That's right. All right. First off, we're going to have our normal amount of segments here. We're going to talk about a wide receiver that caught a lot of passes, set some records too along the way. Larry will tell you about the Red Hurricane Minute and then our schedule portion. But first, athlete of the week this week is Elwood City Lincoln's Dom Hogue. He is a senior. He caught 10 passes for 148 yards and a touchdown in a 35-13 win over Keystone Oaks. They pulled away for that win on Friday night, Larry.
That's quite an impressive performance for a high school wide receiver. Elwood threw the ball, according to the box score here, 37 times. My understanding, the quarterback threw it 36, Smiley, and he was 24 for 36. That's quite an impressive performance. And 10 for 148, that's Randy Moss stuff there, brother. So Mr. Hogue, Dom Hogue, had a pretty big day for his team, who had a pretty big night. I mean, they did pull away in the fourth quarter. I mean, that was a 1-point game going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Tyler Smiley, the quarterback, he completed 24 passes in 36 attempts. 10 of those went to Dom Hogue. 11 of them went to, I believe it was Delon Curry. He caught 11 passes, and I think he had 102 receiving yards. So it's kind of like watching Dan Marino and that offense, or Eric Coryell with Dan Fouts.
You don't see that very often in high school football. They threw the ball for 269 yards Friday night and ran it for 156. They put up 400 on Keystone Oaks. That's quite a performance. And there was an article on Coach Bradley in the paper, I think, not so long ago. My man knows how to coach them up. He coaches basketball and football, and you don't see too many high school coaches doing that anymore, and he's successful in both. So I tip my hat to him. That's a full-time commitment. That's a year-round commitment, and he gets results. And to throw it for 269 and a wide receiver, Dom Hogue, catching 10 for 148, worthy of athlete of the week.
Yeah, and that's an offensive circus there at Elwood, coming off of basically a run-first program. Remember, they had Elijah Palmer McCain, and he was last year, and he was a record setter at Elwood, rolling up a lot of rushing yards. And now to evolve after he graduates into more of a passing game, there was no grace period. They went from running to passing in one season.
Yeah, and look, Elwood's a good football team, but they're going to have to play better this weekend. They had 5 turnovers. I believe they had 2 passes intercepted and lost 3 fumbles. So, when you throw it up like that and you do it that often, sometimes there was, I think it was Darrell Royal, the old head coach of the University of Texas, who said, when you throw the football, 3 things can happen and 2 are bad. So it's a risk-reward type of offense. They had a lot of reward in throwing it for 269, but there's a little bit of risk there. A couple passes were intercepted, and they lost 3 fumbles. They'll have to be a little more secure with the football next Friday if they're going to move on.
Dom Hogue, in winning athlete of the week, he set a career record for receptions at Elwood, and also the single season record for receptions. Right now, he has 52 catches this year.
Wow.
For 723 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's just this year. So that's one half of those records, the 52 catches. I didn't write it down, but I think he has like 94 career receptions. So those are his 2 records that he owns.
That is impressive.
Yep.
And at the high school level, You know, that speaks volumes for the type of offense they're running and the type of wide receiver he is. Those are impressive stats.
Mm-hmm. That is correct. And Elwood City is now 7-4, and they have a playoff test against Steel Valley coming up Friday. We'll tell you more about that in our schedule segment. But for right now, Athlete of the Week, Dom Hogue, a senior from Elwood City Lincoln, 10 catches, 148 yards, and a touchdown reception in a 35-13 win over Keystone Oaks. Come on back. Larry Kelly will tell you all you want to know about the Red Hurricane and the Red Hurricane Minute. We'll do that next year on Gridiron.
We all know there's an advantage to being the home team, to playing at home. And at LGKG, we have been your home team for personal injury cases involving automobile accidents and workers' compensation claims for over 90 years. At LGKG, over 10,000 clients have trusted us to represent them. We know how to present your case to a Western Pennsylvania jury. We know what makes them tick. We know how to win.
What did you see different tonight from Montour that you just saw a few weeks ago?
Nothing. Same hard-nosed Montour, well-coached. We knew it was going to be a dogfight, and it was. It was exactly what I envisioned it to be. It came down to the last seconds of the game.
Were you just figuring, stay within the touchdown, don't get them too far behind, just play with them at that point?
Yeah, we were hoping Marino, was going to feel better after he sat out a while and got into the locker room. And trainer did a good job getting them back out here. But we asked our defense to hold them to 7 points, and we told them we hung our hats on them all year. Do it for us again, hold them to 7, and we'll win the game in the second half.
Right.
And we came out here and did that.
What was the nature of his injury? What was his status?
Just banged up. He took a hard shot. Wind knocked out of him. So.
Did he go in 100% or pretty close to 100?
I don't know if he was 100% that second half, but he's as gritty and tough of a young man that you'll ever find, and he showed that tonight.
What did you see from Kai Cox running the offense in his absence?
Yeah, Kai did a good job. We asked him to run the offense, hold fort, don't try to do too much, just hang on to the ball and let's get into halftime. We actually almost broke a couple.
What did Montour do on that first drive to go down and get to 7 on a 16?
They just took it to us. And we knew they were. They're huge up front. Mm-hmm. They have such an advantage of us up front, but our guys are quick and fast. We felt that as the game wore on, our quick, fast guys would be able to wear them out up front. Right. And, that was our hope. And it just ended up a dogfight. It's a Parkway Conference battle, and it's exactly what we expected it was going to be.
You went for a fourth down conversion in the third quarter. Did you feel that was the time that something needed to be done?
Yes, well, we lost Quaylen Davis. That's a huge loss to us. He was our long snapper, so that went into the decision to go for it on fourth down and then also go for 2.
Mm-hmm. Right, and the 2-point conversion play. What did you guys call on that?
Yeah, well, we saw something that we thought we could exploit them with. We knew they were going to try to stop our power read, and we had a little play designed. Once they tried to stop that, we were going to come back with something else and burn them on it, and it worked throughout the night. It worked on that 2-point conversion.
Would you guys?
Yeah.
What did you guys cook up on defense to stop that 2-point conversion?
Yeah. Coach Fermi just made sure everybody was had their gap integrity up front. We wanted to get into the gaps, cause some pressure. We wanted to make sure he did a great job of making sure everybody knew who they were locked on in the secondary. So did a great job out there, kept composure, and we were able to come out of there with a stop.
How does it feel getting back to the playoffs and then winning once you got here?
Oh, it's tremendous. It's a tremendous feeling. You know, I lost one of these 1-point games a few years back. Not here, but, you know, up in the Shannock. And, you know, they hurt. They hurt, especially when you got two teams going at it like this. It's a shame one team has to lose. You know, I thought it was sad and a bad draw here, making us two teams play each other. But it is what it is. We had to go at each other, and, you know, it was an epic battle.
Did you think they were going to go for two or try to extend it in overtime?
I had a feeling they were going to go for two. We were at home. You know, we had the fans behind us. You know, I felt they were going to go for two and go for the win. So we were ready for it. You know, Jaden Schaefer, Mason Cook, DJ Gordon, Mike Harris, Gigi Molina, those guys sucked it up on defense and made some huge stops for us.
Any thoughts on who you play next? Or
I haven't heard one score, so whoever it is, we'll be there. We'll show up with bells on.
All right, anything else, Coach?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, we're back here on Gridiron, and Newcastle has a big football game this coming Friday in the semifinals against Aliquippa. To tell us more about Newcastle and the Red Hurricane and the football program, who better to ask than a Newcastle guy himself, Larry Kelly?
Well, there are better people you could ask, but they're just not available. We were hoping to have Mark Mangino, former head coach of the University of Kansas, on with us tonight, but my man had a dental procedure that left him somewhat impaired. So it's just me. But I did talk to Coach Mangino. You know, we share some of the same concerns. This is the second week in a row that the Red Hurricane got outrushed 2-1. You know, Montour ran the ball for 214 yards. We ran it for 104. Boy, that's just not a recipe, especially when you get into playoff competition for success. But what a great football game it was. Montour drove down the field at the end of the game. They went for two, as didn't surprise me, but the Hurricanes stood tall and had that last play smothered. Coach Ciro from Montour said they had been working on that play all week. So, you know, they kind of knew that if they got down to crunch time, they were probably going for two. But defense is all about discipline. Newcastle stayed in their gaps, and, you know, they did their job on that play, and they made the stop. You know, Montour kind of controlled the line of scrimmage. Newcastle hit two big plays. A slant to Damian Harrison that went for 56 yards. Coach Mangino said, you know, the safety was playing up against the line of scrimmage. That Montour had their mind made up. They weren't going to let the Newcastle running game beat them, and especially Marino Graham. And, you know, so there was no deep safety help. And, you know, Damian got inside leverage on that cornerback. Marino hit him with a perfect pass, hit him in stride, and Damian took it to the house. Let me tell you something. Maybe the best game of his career Friday night, Damian Harrison. More impressive than the touchdown pass might have been his interception at the goal line. What a great play he made. That guy was open. If not for Damian, you know, cutting in front of him and making the interception, that could have been a Montour touchdown. He was outstanding. And, of course, Newcastle hit another big play to Chase Lemon down the sideline. And I asked you, Ronnie, I couldn't tell. Was it a broken play or was that the design? It looked like Marino was kind of running around back there and just looked up and saw Chase standing on the sideline all by himself. I mean, what did you see on that play?
Yeah, like I was telling you off air, you know, I can't remember the entire play. I remember it was on the near side by us, and I remember watching Marino dancing around, you know, trying to elude tacklers, and I happened to look down the field thinking, where's he going to throw? And I thought, there's a guy way down here. How in the world did he get that wide open? You know, and that's who he ended up throwing the ball to, and down the sideline all the way untouched.
Touchdown. So Newcastle turned two big plays into gold, and now they're moving on. And, you know, I asked Coach Mangino, Matt, why didn't you kick the extra point when you were up 14-7 after the second score? And Quaylen Davis is the long snapper, and he dislocated his elbow, I guess. And they were concerned about his ability to snap the ball.
Yeah.
So, again, they don't know if he's going to be able to play this week. And, the long snapper probably is every bit as important as the kicker, Ronnie, when you're converting extra points. So, I don't know if Newcastle's working on plan B, if Quaylen can't go. But, had they kicked the extra point, that pretty much ices that game. Had they done it. And I think they would have, because their kicker, the last game, he was 5 for 6. So he's doing a pretty good job. And, look, they're playing Aliquippa. Aliquippa has their quarterback back. The kid's a really, really good player. But how could you bet against Newcastle, man? I mean, they're just, when they need a big play, they make it. And they've been doing it all year. Appears that everybody's healthy. They were a little bit concerned about Marino having a concussion after the second quarter. They checked him out at halftime. He passed the concussion protocol and came back. And Marino is Marino. He did a great job. He threw for 141 yards, 6 for 12. But when he hits him big. And so survive and advance. That's what this is all about. Survive and advance. Let's get everybody healthy, and we'll take our chance against the Quips.
That's what that game was all about too, because survive and advance. Because Montour had 2 touchdowns called back by holding penalties. The first one, and I asked Lucero about it. They had 4th and 1, I think it was, and they ended up getting the touchdown, but it was called back. Now you have 4th and maybe 11. I don't remember if they were goal to go or if they could have got a first.
It was goal to go, and
Yeah.
I thought he was going to kick a field goal because he got a pretty good field goal kicker, and he decided not to.
Yeah, that's why I asked him that. I said, was that on the table? And he said it's a 50-50 proposition. So I think what he was referring to is, you're talking snap and placement of the ball in terms of the 50-50. But at that stage of the game, they were up 7-0, and that would have made it a 2-score game.
Right.
Now one time you were talking about going for 2 for Newcastle. Had they got that 2-point conversion, now they're up 2 scores. Because that would make it a 16-7.
Yes. Yeah, it would have. But I'd have probably kicked the extra point if everybody's healthy.
Right.
To force Montour to score a touchdown and then convert a 2-point conversion. Those are less than 50%, I think, on the year, Ronnie. It's just hard. Everybody's packed in. There's not a lot of room to move around. But, I'm excited. This is as close as we've been to the WPIAL Championship game since Geno Stone was quarterback in the Red Hurricane. And we need a big performance. If you remember, the game that takes Newcastle to the WPIAL Championship was against Ringgold. Geno Stone had 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and would have had a 4th interception, but his own guy took the ball off him. You need that kind of performance from one of your players to get to that championship game. And I don't know, who will it be? Kai Cox? Will it be Damian Harrison? Chase Lemon? Is it going to be Marino Graham? One of those guys got to step up, if not all of them, right? And have one of those games.
Now tell us about this. This is the second rematch in a row. How difficult are these for a coaching staff or even players to gear up for?
I don't like to play, when I was in the playoffs, I didn't like to play teams from my conference a second time. And in hoops, sometimes it was the third time. I don't like to do that. Coach Mangino was saying when he was at Oklahoma and they won the national championship, they had to beat Kansas State on the road, and then they had to beat them again in the Big 12 championship game. And he said it was just a difficult, physical battle. And I expect it to be that on Friday night. Listen, Aliquippa has pedigree and pride. They'll come to play. But this isn't the same Newcastle team, buddy. It isn't. This team has proven themselves to be special and proven themselves to be the type of pedigree that is championship pedigree. So I'm proud of all these guys, man. Can't wait to see them in basketball. I just don't want to see them next week because I want to make sure we win at least one more week I don't want to see them for 2 more weeks. 3 weeks from now, I'll see those guys. But we got some business to take care of.
How antsy is Ralph Lundo?
We have no basketball players.
Right.
Normally, we would be in our fall preseason workout stuff. There's nobody there. They all play football.
Is this causing you guys to think about postponing whatever you have early on in the season to another date?
Nah, no chance. We don't postpone anything, buddy. Newcastle will be ready. When they blow the whistle, we'll be ready.
Lastly here, real quick, I don't know how much you look at comments and topics and things like that on social media, but there's a lot of people messaging things about the venue on Friday night at Elwood City. I think Elwood City's Helling Stadium holds 3,700 people, roughly roundabout somewhere in that category. And there's a lot of people also saying that the parking isn't the greatest at Elwood City either, which I know for a fact the parking is bad. Whether it's 3,700 or more or less, that I couldn't tell you, but there might be people turned away if that venue holds up to be where they play. I guess two questions coming out of it. Are you surprised that it's at Elwood and maybe not at a place like Reeves Field, Geneva College? And is there a chance that people might quote unquote complain or bellyache enough that they could move that venue?
They're not going to move it. It's my understanding that Beaver Falls did not bid on the game. And so that's why it's not being played at Reeves Stadium where Beaver Falls plays their games, because you would think that would be the perfect venue because of the size and the seating capacity and its location. You know, they like to play these games on turf fields, and Elwood City has a turf field. But you're right, they don't have a large seating capacity. And I don't know, you tell me, is there going to be more than 37? I mean, that's what I love about these old time communities. I mean, Newcastle will bring an entourage, but so will Aliquippa. So there's a chance that there might be more than 3,700 people here on Friday night. So I don't know. And you're right, there's nowhere to park. Forget about it. You're on your own parking there in Elwood City. You got to park on the street. So yeah, it's not the perfect venue, but it's pretty close to halfway, maybe a little closer for Newcastle, and it's a turf field, and that's what the WPIAL wants. They don't want teams playing on grass this time of year.
Sure. All right, that is Red Hurricane Minute, unless you have anything else, Larry, that you would like to say regarding Newcastle.
Can I say get the fire trucks ready?
Might be a week early, but okay.
I'm feeling it. I'm just telling you, I'm feeling it, Ronnie. I'm feeling it, buddy. I'm feeling it. Get the fire trucks ready.
All right.
Get them shined up for the Red Hurricane.
Okay.
We all know there's an advantage to playing at home, to being the home team. At LGKG, we've been your home team personal injury attorneys for auto accident and workers' compensation cases for over 90 years. We know what works and how to win. We have all the credentials. At LGKG, we don't take every case. We handpick our clients so that we can give you the attention you deserve.